Good to see you, friends. Welcome, welcome to the Gisela show. Every Monday at 5. And let's say hello to Amnan, our producer, who's
Hello,
generally.
Gisela. How are you?
I am just really peachy. I always am because I have the mindset to do so. We'll talk a little bit about that because I have a funny little story to tell you from the weekend. But first and foremost, I have prepared a very interesting show for you. One is, I am always asked, what is homeopathy? We've talked about that many times. All of you who are online the first time, welcome. This show is about homeopathy. This show is about what we can do to stay young, vibrant, healthy into our senior years. It is also about, you know, what can we do without pharmaceuticals? And one of the things I'm always asked, and often I hear that of saying, well, homeopathy is naturally not as good as conventional medicine. Well, I have news for you. Just because I preach that doesn't mean much, really, apparently. Even though I am a homeopath, I am a doctor of natural health, I am a licensed esthetician, and I probably do know a little bit more about it because I've been doing this for homeopathy for close to 20 years, skincare and natural health for 40. So, yeah, I've learned a thing or two. But here's what I just recently read, and that made my heart sing because I really don't like all this controversy always, where people, oh, it's voodoo medicine and so on. Well, here's what the Irish Times in Dublin has publicized. There was an article by Geraldine Kennedy, and the article is quite large, and I'm just going to read you some excerpts of it. According to the British Medical Journal, a review of conventional medical procedures funded by the National Health Service produced the following figures. 11%, they say, homeopathy was beneficial. 24% said likely to be beneficial. 7% trade-off between benefits and harms, and 5% unlikely to be beneficial. 3% likely to be ineffective or harmful, and 50% of unknown effectiveness. Thus, they concluded, homeopathy is as effective as conventional medicine, if not more so. This debate has been going on for a number of years, but we have yet to see a fair and impartial view of the matter published and the public informed of the choices that are available when it comes to health care. In the rest of Europe and the world, homeopathy and various therapies are widely accepted and used by doctors and other practitioners. We do have a right to know when they do publish these things. In Bristol, in England, as you know, England is one of the countries really that uses homeopathy very, very broad. I mean, they have homeopathy hospitals there, and in India, homeopathy is used by I would say 75 to 80% of all people. They use homeopathy at one time or another, or totally like I do. I don't use anything else but homeopathy, or an abbreviation of that. Amnon just had he had a respiratory infection that had brought his blood sugar up, and it area that was potentially dangerous. So I told him to take turmeric in coconut oil or coconut butter with ginger and use that every day. And Amnon, you report what?
The blood sugar is back where it's supposed to be. I did not know that I had an infection. I always thought that infection is always accompanied by fever. And
Yeah.
I did not have any fever. But about a month ago, I felt really bad on the weekend and I stayed in bed. And then I felt that bad. But then by Sunday afternoon, everything was fine. But I was coughing a little bit and I was
Yeah, this
bringing
kind of,
up all kind of
yeah,
mucus and so forth. And then I noticed that my
eh,
blood sugar started creeping up. And
yeah,
normally I try to keep it right. I mean, I'm a type 2 diabetic, so I try to keep it around lower than 130. Let's put it this
yeah,
way. But it was
yeah.
going up to 180, 190, 240, 270. And I
That
said, something
is
is really
very
wrong
bad.
here. Yeah, I said, something
Yeah,
is wrong here. Either the medication is not working anymore or something is really going wrong.
yeah.
Then, Gisela, you told me to take the turmeric and in coconut oil, and there's a couple more things that I put in there.
Yeah,
I don't
some
have
cinnamon you put in
cinnamon,
there,
the
right?
1,000
Ci-
milligram
right.
stuff, and was it
And that
ginger?
lowers the blood sugar.
And
The
after
turmeric
this
fights
was
the
this.
infection. Yeah,
I started this last Monday, last Tuesday morning. Sorry, and I took it, and I noticed that my blood sugar now was coming down. I mean, I got to the point where I was checking about 7 or 8 times a day because
yeah.
I wanted to see, is it something that I'm eating that's bringing it up, and what is doing this?
And it was
When
worrying you.
of course, and that
Of
adds
course,
to the level. Wednesday,
of
I
course.
had a scheduled physical, so I went, and of course, I had to fast because of the blood work. And in the morning over here, I checked before I left, and it was 134. I said, "Wow, that's low." When I got to the doctor and they took the blood sugar and everything, the blood work, he was talking to me, and I was telling him, I said, "Look, I'm worried about this. What do you think?" He said, "Well, you sound like you have a little bit of a upper respiratory infection." So he checked. He said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you want some antibiotics to kick it out?" I said, "Well, if I don't take antibiotics, will it go away? Will my body kick it out?" He said, "Oh yeah, it may just take a little longer." So I said, "No, I'd rather not take antibiotics. I'm
Good for
taking
you.
some homeopathic stuff, and we'll see." At this point, I mean, and then I found out that my blood sugar when I went there, which was about an hour later, was actually 109. So it came down farther, possibly, or it could be just the different meters. But I was feeling much better. I ate after I came home, and I checked it an hour after I ate. And normally, this is when it's the highest.
Yeah,
It was still like about 130. I said, "Okay, I'm fine now. I mean, it's something is kicking in." At this
yeah,
point, it is back to where it was, anywhere between, like yesterday we worked outside. I had like 79, and I had to come
yeah,
in and eat something. But the highest one I've seen it so far since last Wednesday was 141. And
yeah.
that's when I ate a whole kielbasa sausage. I mean, a whole thing, not just a piece of it. Um, it's amazing what that homeopathic medication can do for I
Right.
don't remedy, not medication. what it can do
Yeah,
for you. But it's and I mean, I was always a believer,
yeah,
and
I know.
and it's great. I did not have to take antibiotics, and I'm
Yeah,
going to keep taking
please do.
that concoction every morning and every afternoon
Please
in my
do.
coffee.
Yeah, it will keep your blood sugar, and try it then also that you space your blood sugar medication, your insulin, a little
I
bit more, and see how that works,
Okay, you
because
see,
you might
I don't take insulin. I the only
you
thing
take the
that
Trulicity.
I
Yeah,
take Trulicity once a week,
yeah. So
so I
you
can
may not
space
even
it.
need that after a while anymore, because this I have found, and it's not truly homeopathic, um, this concoction, okay? But it is as close to homeopathy as you can get, because it is also done in the same fashion. A small amount of the turmeric. Turmeric fights infections.
Hmm.
The cinnamon will bring your blood sugar to a normal level. The ginger that is in there will give you an added little boost of energy,
Hmm.
and also fights infections. So what I suggest people, especially people with diabetes, I have diabetes. I never have taken any pharmaceutical. I have done it totally, and my blood sugar is again just like yours, from 100 to 140, anywhere in between there, depending what I'm eating. And that is a totally normal range for my age, for everything else. It's a totally normal range. It has nothing, it is not, it cannot get much better. And I've never taken anything else.
Hmm.
But I space this when, for instance, I eat ice cream. I love, once in a while, like this afternoon, I thought, it's a hot day and it's an ice cream day. So I had a
Absolutely.
very nice, generous helping of he spa, which is very sweet, ice cream. Well, then I took my little concoction right after. I measured my blood sugar like about an hour and a half afterwards, and it was like 129.
Hmm.
I mean, you can't get much better. And I am not saying this is for everyone, but everyone who's out there who's listening, please make note of it, because you can live without pharmaceuticals. And that's what this show is really about. Now, this five hospital pilot study that I was reading here, I thought was just absolutely fantastic. This was done in Bristol, England. And here's what it says. In a pilot study published in 2008, followed up patients' appointments at all five homeopathic hospitals were collected together over 1 month period. Okay. They tested for eczema, chronic fatigue syndrome, menopausal disorders, osteoarthritis, and depression. Those were the top five most referred conditions. Uh, the medical problems referred to the hospital typically are chronic conditions, and where available, conventional therapy treatments are often not effective. Well, we know that with depression and menopausal disorders and osteoarthritis, conventional remedies really don't do much. Also, by eczema and chronic fatigue, I have never seen that conventional medicines, allopathy, has done much in that. In this study, there were 235 people, and they were all treated at the hospital for 1 month. this is the outcome of the survey. Oh, then they expanded that. One of the most comprehensive patient outcome surveys was an analysis of over 23,000 outpatient consultant at the Bristol Homeopathic Hospital from November 1997 to October 2003. This represented over 6,500 individual patients whose outcome was recorded at follow-up. More than 70% of these follow-up patients recorded clinically improvement followed by homeopathic treatment. And these were the chronic ailments that were tested. Asthma was the first one. They improved by 98%. Chronic fatigue syndrome by 72%. Crohn's disease, 76% improvement. Depression, 71% improvement. Eczema, 82% improvement. Headache, 74% improvement. Irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, 71. And we know irritable bowel syndrome is the very insidious chronic disease that plagues a lot of people, and that has really a lot to do with what you eat. It does not, and what your stress levels are. But they apparently took that into account also and treated all of these patients with homeopathic remedies. I'm sure that there was some nutritional advice also. Rheumatoid arthritis, 70%. That I found was astounding, because rheumatoid arthritis has been really evading conventional medicines if it is not done. There are really not many. All they give you is anti-inflammatories. And these anti-inflammatories can destroy your kidneys, your liver, and really your heart. I just had a friend last week, really on Thursday. He came to visit us, was supposed to stay with us the night. And he started to feel very bad, and he started to vomit, and really, I mean, the man was super sick. I tried to give him home, and he's also very high diabetic. And, but at one point, it's enough. So by next day, about 3 o'clock, I said, you know what? He may have. I said, was your appendix ever out? No, he still has his appendix. But a man in his early 70s, okay? So I said, well, let's give you another remedy and see if that does anything. Nothing really helped. And when I found that by 5 o'clock, I said, okay, you know what? I need you to take you to the hospital. I think this is beyond what I can do here, because I don't think we have time for homeopathy. You have to sometimes say, okay, is there time for the remedy to work? If there is no time for the remedy to work, then you may have to have an intervention that is a little quicker. And thank God I did take him to the hospital. The outcome was this. He had 4 blocked arteries going to his heart. He had a blood clot in his heart. His liver was functioning only half, and 1 kidney was dead. And that all is the result of him playing around with his insulin, his doctor not really monitoring the insulin. His diabetes was shooting up to 3 and 4 and 500 and coming down. Then he would take some, he would not. He wouldn't eat. And I also saw him when I saw him, he had lost a lot of weight. So I was concerned. So tomorrow he has his operation. I know he's a strong man. He's a very positive man, an artist, a lovely man, lovely friend. And I hope any of you who have compassion, please send some good vibes towards the Columbia Presbyterian Hospital where he is, and just have in mind an artist that I won't say his name because that would not be the right thing, but an artist that is there in dire need of some compassionate vibes. Okay, so what we haven't done, Amnon, we haven't told people of how to get in touch with me if they have any comments or questions.
All they have to do is click above the video. There is Gisela's name. Just click on that, and that's her email address. That will open your mail utility, and you can send her an email.
Yeah.
Right above
and you
the
can
video.
go into the chat. Yeah.
And there are at this point 1,379 viewers. There's nobody in the chat. I don't know what it's going to take to get you guys in there. Gisela tried, and she's trying to give you stuff for free, and it's not working. Just go in there. Don't be shy. Yeah, don't be square.
We do not collect any email addresses.
Nothing.
We don't know who it is that you don't have to even give your name. If you want to give your dog's name, that's fine. I don't care.
Absolutely.
Just go in there and ask your questions. I know you have some, so why not do it?
And you can always also call in to 919-518-9773 or Computers 2K now, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And all this information is on the page.
Well,
coming
to the next subject. Now that we have, and just interrupt, just put into the chat, and Amnon will tell me your question, okay? I don't mind at all. Here's the thing. The latest I've had several clients lately who are saying, and it seems like it's women more so than men, if they can get to sleep, they wake up at 1, 2, 3, or 4 o'clock, and then they have a problem getting back to sleep. Some of them can't get to sleep. Once they are asleep, they often have nightmares. They often are restless. The sleep is not good. And it seems like it's more with women than men. The only conclusion I made is probably because our brains are so active and we just have so many things to do always. We worry about so many things and we're always multitasking, and we stay on the computer till late at night and do whatever we do on the computers, and we watch television late, and none of that is good. I'm going to give you a little roadmap if you are falling into that category. I mean, because there are two categories, really. One who can't fall asleep. The other category is they go to sleep very quickly, but they wake up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I belong to that category. I wake up, it seems like every morning at 3, 4 o'clock. Now, that may be two reasons. One reason is that I just have to get up and go to the toilet. The other is my dogs have to get up and go to the toilet. So that may be the reason. But I have also noticed that when I do what I preach, and I'm going to tell you of what I do and what I should do, I have a better more restful night. I don't wake up really as much, and I don't wake up in the morning and I'm all like, oh my God, another day. No, I wake up, I jump out of bed, and I'm energetic and I'm happy, and that sort of thing. So here's what I do and what you should do. And it's different things for different people. So not all of these things are for everybody, okay? One is exercise regularly. And when I know, and I do yoga, I only unfortunately do it once a week, but at least once a week, right? I should do it every day. If you exercise 20 to 30 minutes a day, may it be a nice brisk walk, may it be yoga, may it be qigong, just stretching and movement. May that, whichever exercise is the right one for you, if you do that at least once a day, any kind of depression that may prevent you from sleep will lift somewhat. Any kind of sleep that is not restful will be deeper. The other one is lose some weight. They have found people that are overweight, they have sleep apnea often, and that can prevent you from getting a restful night of sleep. Another point is, if you have any kind of kidney or urine tract imbalance. Now, I'm not talking about a real infection. I'm talking about an imbalance that the Jane Fonda age has, my age. I like that better than senior or elderly, don't you? And I just find that those women that have to get up more frequently at night, the solution is not to stop drinking water. It's not the solution, because older people dehydrate faster than younger people, because they're inherently not often thirsty, so they don't drink that as much. So if you want to have a glass of water by your bedside, please do so. But they are homeopathic remedies that will help you to control your bladder better. And we'll talk about that at another one. But there are homeopathic remedy. One herbal remedy and one herbal solution is Melissa or lemon balm tea. Melissa or lemon balm tea. Now, lemon balm in the East grows everywhere. I have it all over my property, and I love it. And I collect it, and then I make a tincture of it with alcohol, and then I also dry some for tea. And it helps to get you to sleep in no time. It works like magic. It helps with menopausal problems. It helps with urine tract problems. It helps with kidney problems. And it does help with menopausal problems. Women who have menopausal problems, they often have, the hot flashes and the discomfort of menopause. Try Melissa or lemon balm. Melissa is the Latin name for it. Okay, it regulates your hormonal levels. Now, many people in the evening, they go out to dinner or whatever, and then they have a cup of coffee. Now, most of my friends and everybody that I know, they already, oh no, I can't drink coffee because I can't go to sleep. Well, that's a myth. That's not really true. You can drink coffee. What you shouldn't have is you shouldn't have any sugar in the coffee and you shouldn't have any milk in the coffee. But a small cup of coffee in many senior homes in Europe, they serve at night to the seniors a cup of coffee. Helps them to sleep because uh, caffeine helps to relax the body and helps to make it sleep better. But also, what you should not have is sodas. What you should never have is sodas. Sodas are not a good thing to have at any time of the day, especially in the evening. Having late night ice cream is also a no-no. Sugar will keep you up because the body processes the sugar and it is an energy booster for the body. So avoid having ice cream or snacks late at night. Have your last meal around 6, 7 o'clock, 7 latest. But I try to eat like 5, 6 o'clock. If that is not possible, no later than 7 o'clock. If you eat late, especially, let's say, meat, your body processes that, so it prevents you from going to sleep. And then when you do fall asleep, it's sort of like this drowsy sleep that is rather restless because your body is working as hard as it can to digest this food. Not a good idea. But what I think what works the best for me is preparing my bedroom. First of all, making my bed really comfortable and nice. I always have some powder. And, you know, when I was very young, was my first husband. His mother, when I came to visit, that's when I first experienced it. She always put, when she made the bed, she would dash a little bit of lily of the valley powder or lavender powder into the sheets, a tiny bit, not a lot. Rub it all over, and the bed smelled so nice and comfortable. Well, I've kept that all my life, except when I forget, you know, I run out of my lavender. But they have now, you can make a lavender spray, so you don't have that powder, because some people, the talc, it bothers them in their nose. So use some of the spray. Spray a little lavender on your sheets. It will help you to just drift off. Also, have good ventilation in your bedroom. Keep the window open. I always have my window open. Two things. One is because my cats go in and out of that window and they are all night, and I have reasons why at times I don't sleep well, because I have all these little furry children that need my attention. But that having good ventilation is a very, very good thing. Also, keep your phone in the other room. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Try not to have a television set in your bedroom, because the EMFs that these electronic devices send out can disturb somebody who is sensitive to that, okay? Somebody who has thyroid problems, especially EMFs, are especially bad for thyroid problems. Also have, you know, darkness. Many people have partners that want to read at night in the bed. Maybe you should then wear like night shades for your eyes, or earplugs if the partner wants to watch television, which would not be so good. What else? the lavender, we said, and make it a ritual. You know what I do in the evening? And my dogs know this. I mean, it's just really funny. What I do in the evening is like about 8, 9 o'clock, I try to turn off the computer. I have something on television that is very light, no political stuff, no violent crime scene or whatever. Something very light, like Andy Griffin or something, or the Lucy Show or something like that. So well, I'm dating myself, right? But I'm sure that there's some younger stuff also that is very light. And then I put on every second night, I put on a different nightie. I have found that if I have a fresh nightie on, I mean, I only changed my sheets like every 10 days or every 2 weeks, because I want to, washing them more doesn't make them any better, right? And at this point in my life, I don't want to buy a lot more new sheets. So, but having a nice nightie on, fresh one, gives you the feeling of fresh sheets. Fresh sheets is one thing that always puts everybody in a good mood and for restful sleep. Then I read something that is not terribly engaging, like a book that is just where I can read 2 or 3 pages and my mind is just sort of turning off, and then I start falling asleep. I take the glasses off, turn the light off, and I'm done. Another thing that I always do is I always bring a glass of warm milk with that turmeric, cinnamon, ginger concoction. I dissolve that in the milk and I sip that. By the time I have a little mug like this. By the time I finish that, I'm usually asleep. Now, if I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't get back to sleep right away, well, what do you think you do then? Now you have a variety of things that you can do. You can get up, you can walk around, you can read, one thing I would not advise, using your phone, your computer, or television. Do not put on the television. Go back to that boring book, read another page or 2. That should do it usually. But what I do when the weather is really nice, like it is now, because the dogs have to go out, I take the dogs out, I go on my deck, and I sit for a couple minutes and look at the stars and just meditate for 5-10 minutes. When I go back to bed, I'm right away, bang, out. I'm done. And then I sleep till 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I get up and I am just as fresh as a daisy.
Nice.
So, yeah, those are some of non-homeopathic things. Now here I come to a few homeopathic remedies that really, really, really work. If you can't sleep or you wake up because you had a trauma, or you have some sadness, or you have a lot of stress. I have one of my friends, she's losing her house, and she has a lot of money problems, and it's just really so sad to see that, She's always worked very, very hard, and she gets tired, like about 5-6 o'clock. She is so tired. She has intense yawning, and she gets, she really is, once she hits the bed, she can't sleep, because all these these grief. It's really a grief that she has. And what I suggested to her is Ignatia Amara. Ignatia Amara. And I've made her a bottle that, with the remedy in it. And when she wakes up in the middle of the night, she shakes the bottle, she takes a spoonful of it, and then she can go back to sleep. So that works for that really well. If you are, my brother used to do that. He would wake up 11, 12, he would go to bed at 8 o'clock. But 11, 12 o'clock, he would wake up because he was hungry, because his blood sugar fell down so much. And so he had to get up and eat. Well, at that time, I didn't know it. But if you are in that category and that happens to you, then take a dose of Lycopodium. Lycopodium clavatum. Lycopodium clavatum. Lycopodium is Irish moss, really. And it works fantastic for those people, okay? Also, those people and children also, that have some slight pain. If you have leg cramps and you wake up in the middle of the night from leg cramps, you will need a little bit more magnesium and the homeopathic remedy Cupromet. Try it; it works fabulous. Now, one of the things that I often recommend, very, very often recommend, is Nux vomica. Nux vomica is a polycrest remedy, and it works for a variety of things. But it works also very, very well for those people that get very irritable from loss of sleep. If I don't sleep enough, like when I go camping with my husband, and he snores a little bit, and I'm very noise sensitive, and I don't sleep enough, and that goes on for, I can do that for a night, maybe the second night. Third night, you better not start to talk to me, because I am I'm like a bear. I mean, I growl at everything. And then I take Nux vomica. Nux vomica will stop that and will make you fall asleep and sleep better, okay? Another one is really, really nice, and that is a Passiflora incarnata. Passiflora incarnata. If you are restless, exhaustion, sleeplessness, that kind of thing, try some Passiflora. It has a long history to help people to go to sleep. Also works a little bit like Melissa or lemon balm for people that are a little older or are in menopause. Now, menopause happens to men as it does to women. So we know that, right? The change of life. So that, I think there's also sulfur, which is if you are drowsy by day and sleepless at night, worse for becoming hot in atmospheric changes, then you might try sulfur. But if none of these things work, then you should contact a homeopath and see, maybe you need a constitutional remedy. And only a homeopath can prescribe that for you or can suggest that for you, okay?
All right.
Well,
now
I hope...
question.
Yes?
Kathy's asking, what should be used for open sores on your dog when she's biting herself, maybe because of fleas?
Arsenicum.
Arsenicum. And the other question that she's got is, how do you make a tincture? Tincture. Okay,
we don't have
that's
enough
for
time. We are
that's
out
for
of
next
time today.
for
But
next
it's a good question.
for next
Please
show.
ask it again.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay?
All
It's
right.
a great question.
Yep.
We are out of time today, but like I said, I'd be glad to, and I will set up the camera so that I can show you also of how to do it. I've just made tinctures of nettle and lemon balm, so I can show you that, and I can show you also of how to make really a homeopathic remedy, but it's very laborsome and they're cheap enough to just buy.
Yep,
So I don't bother
absolutely.
with that.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. Please don't forget to give us a rating. I would love to get a rating from you to see if this is the kind of format. Next week, we're going to talk again a little bit more about how to stay young. How to stay young. Very, very, very good show. And also how to have help your pets to stay young, because you can help them also to stay young and motivated. I give you a little spoiler alert. Attitude is one of the biggest ingredients. All right. Thank you so much for showing. You watched the Gisela show Monday at 5 p.m. And I will be right here next Monday, and I hope you will do. Bye-bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.